Vikings as a 3-point favorite could not cover. In fact, did not even win outright on the road as they lost to the Bengals in overtime, 27-24. The over obviously hit. There was 47 in that game. As it turns out, Jamar Chase, capable of catching a football. He had 5 catches on 7 targets for 101 yards and a touchdown. Joe Burrow, 20 of 27, 261 and 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon was a beast. 29 carries, 127 yards, and a touch. Kirk Cousins was actually very good in this game as well. Dalvin Cook, not so much. Breech, what's your biggest takeaway for the Bengals' big win?
Well, first, I would like to say, I was going to do this on Twitter, but now I'm waiting to the podcast, which is right now. When I predicted the Bengals schedule back on May 26th and got laughed at by multiple people, including you guys, and Jason Lockenfora on his radio show, because I had the Bengals starting off 2-0. Well, A, they're halfway there, and B, my prediction for week 1 in this May 26th story was that the Bengals would beat the Vikings 27-24. So I got the score exactly right. And now, look, the Bengals looked good. They had a bunch of question marks going in the season. You mentioned one, Jamar Chase. Can he actually catch the ball, or is he going to drop everything thrown to him? Well, he had a huge game. 5 catches, 101 yards. I mean, if you're a Bengals fan, that's thrilling because you're watching the Lions, and Penei Sewell did okay, but you feel good about the Jamar Chase pick after this game. It's only one game, but you're happy. The defense, my God, like this, I didn't even recognize this defense. And sure, part of it was because the Vikings offensive line is so bad and kept making a ton of dumb errors. I've never seen a team penalized more than the Vikings got today. I mean, there was 12 penalties for 116 yards, and that includes
the Garrett Bradbury MVP campaign is officially
probably over.
It's right,
and that includes the Bengals declining like 5 or 6 penalties. The Vikings almost got hit with almost more than 150 passing yards, except the Bengals saved them. So the Bengals defense being good, I thought was a big surprise. Their offensive line still isn't great, but it's better than it was last year. And so it all kind of came together, and, you know, maybe the Vikings aren't great, but this was such a huge win. And obviously it came on a field goal, which, you know.
So Evan McPherson, clearly the most important draft pick in Bengals history.
Possibly. Let's wait like 3 more weeks, but I feel like you can make that argument.
How'd you feel about Joe Burrow's performance?
I thought he got hit really hard in the second half on a sack.
He was sacked 5 times, it looks like.
Yeah, and so he was a little shaky after that. But hey, look, he came through in the clutch. The fact that he audibled out of a run on 4th and 1 in overtime and then threw a 32-yard pass to set up the game-winning field goal. I mean,
perfect pass. It was a perfect pass.
And so he made a couple just spectacular throws. I thought he played a really good game. Really, the only thing about this game that like kind of got me up in arms was when Zach Taylor went for it on 4th and 1 from the Bengals' own 30-yard line. At that point, they were up 21-7.
He was too scared. He didn't want his defense to get it back.
No, the defense had played.
I know. I just think he just was worried like that his defense couldn't get it back.
It didn't make any. You're winning by 2 touchdowns. Your defense has absolutely shut down the Vikings. There was no reason not to do it. They fail. Vikings turn around, score a touchdown 4 plays later, and all of a sudden Minnesota was right back in it, and that's kind of what propelled them into it. I mean, look at the stats.
What a slap in the face.
I almost tweeted that if the Bengals lose this game because of that failed 4th down, I'm off the Bengals bandwagon until Taylor's out. So I'm glad it didn't have to come to that.
I think you would rather have a coach who's being over-aggressive as opposed to one who's
not on 4th and 1 from the 30 with a 2-touchdown lead.
All right, Pete Prisco.
Look, I'm all for going for it on 4th down. It was what happened at midfield and overtime was awesome, but you got to read the room. Look at the circumstances. Look at the flow of the game. There was no reason to go for it on 4th and 1 from your own 30 when you're up 2 touchdowns.
So Breech, a year ago, this time obviously led to the infamous or famous, depending on who you are, Randy Bullock clip that we played.
Oh, he missed! He missed! Oh, and he may have pulled a hamstring or a muscle, and there is complete elation.
As we got to overtime, how confident were you that the Vikings were going to find a way to win that game?
Like 90%.
Oh, you had no confidence.
I had already written the game off when it went to overtime. Because I was like, you know what? This is a 53-yard field goal for Greg Joseph at the end of regulation. That's not an easy one. I bet he's going to miss this.
Made it twice.
As soon as that went in, I was like, this is over. Vikings win.
I was gleefully waiting
Of course
on
you
a new
were.
sound drop to emerge where McPherson like Madden it out
Triple doinks it.
dead left or doinks it or dead left. But the biggest takeaway for me, I would say the two things. One, the defense. If the defense is good, that's really interesting, and then the Bengals are going to be a bit more of a problem. But more importantly, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase appear to have shaken off any preseason concerns, which is huge for the Bengals, I think.
You know who hasn't shaken off those concerns? The Vikings.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that team. I didn't have them going to the playoffs preseason, and I feel pretty good about that.
the entire NFC North is 0-1. They're all in first place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
NFC North is not the NFC West.
Who goes to the playoffs if they all go 0-17? Or if they go 0,
Well,
if they go 0,
Oh.
12,
I don't know. We're
and
moving
6?